scrubs. Okay, how am I going to, change that around? On the lip scrubs, I decided to infuse them with THC so that they have a capability of getting that high without getting, what I'm saying, lifted. Some of
Mm-hmm.
us don't smoke,
Mm-hmm.
so you need another way of doing it. With the uh, lip moisturizers, it's a easier way for them to be able to, you know, consume without consuming.
Right, right,
And it helps me a whole bunch because I can sit here and talk to people and they don't know that's what I'm doing at all.
right.
And, a lot of people have told me that, hey, I really get a nice feel off of this. I can use this at work all day. And that makes me happy because it lets me know that I actually put a mark, in the
Right.
industry. And that's what I'm wanting to do.
And you also have those that doesn't have any cannabis in it.
Yes. I mean, why not reach everybody?
Right.
Um, and the glosses, I really wanted you to be able to taste it. So I make sure that you can actually feel it a little bit.
Now with the flavors, you have a bunch of different flavors. Like what are your main flavors that you have?
Oh my gosh, right now my caramel cookie delight is like the top.
Okay.
Um, I also have my mint cookie mojito. It's double infused actually, so you get both alcohol and THC in it.
Okay.
And that's the second top one. And my citrus snap. It's a play on the ginger snap. But I even have some chocolate, caramel flavors in there.
Mm.
For my coffee lovers, I've got, a coffee scrub for them to be able to endure. And I've been told
Oh,
it
I'm
gives
gonna
them an
need that.
actual buzz.
I'm a coffee fanatic, and sometimes I'm getting everything done around the house in the morning, and I'm like getting my coffee at like 10:30, and I'm pissed off because I go to Stewart's and I like the fresh coffee. So if you go after 9:30, it takes them a while to change that coffee, and I'd be mad as hell. I gotta sit there and wait. So if I had a little coffee to put on my lips first, I'd be like, all right, and I smell it, be like, oh.
The best part, Sonny, is that they're actually edible. So, I mean, you're able
Oh
to actually
my
wipe them
gosh.
off or you can actually lick them off your lips.
Oh
I
my
don't
goodness.
have that heavy, shea and cocoa butter to it because,
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, it's going to be messy either way it goes.
Your lip glosses, since some of them do contain cannabis, I mean, Oklahoma is actually ones that really can benefit from the cannabis infused lip glosses. Check out Rayne's website because I mean, she has all kind of products up there. The scrub, you can get it that doesn't contain the cannabis. And to be honest with you, we need to start taking better care of our lips because I know mine right now, I'm sitting here dry. And I'm like, wintertime is dry. And like you said, I like a good lip gloss, but I don't like it thick because then once it get in my mouth, I'm like, ew, that does not taste good. You know what I mean? It's just, even the ones that are flavored that are thick, that doesn't feel good in my mouth. Like, I don't like that. So something, oh wait, that sounded crazy. Where's my husband? Hope he's out of here. He don't hear that. but but you know what I mean, right? So it's
Yes.
nice to have something to be able to put on and be like, oh, okay, and tastes good and all that. So check out our website.
Yes, you guys can definitely go to www.queenshandmua.com. You can also catch me on Facebook under Queening Cosmetics, Queen Cosmetics. You can also catch me on Instagram under Queen's Hand MUA. I don't know if it's safe to give a number. My Mr. Right might be in this, section, but nevertheless,
He can hit you up on Facebook, then you can see what the picture looked like.
even
Boom.
better, yes.
Yep, there you go. Rain, when we were talking last night, we really were um on the same page as far as life. Because once I moved back to New York, being in Oklahoma, my whole family was in New York. It was I mean, I was there for 10 years, almost 10 years, and it was hard dealing with my family being back home in New York, but I had a career. Radio was my life. And so my mother ended up having a stroke while I was on air. And I remember talking to her, and she just sounded so off. And then I called back, and my niece was screaming like, "Oh my gosh, grandma fell over. I can't get her to respond." And so she had to call 911. And I left work that like instantly, jumped in my car, drove to New York. It was about 24 hours. I drove nonstop, 24 hours. I got back, and, you know, my mom is the matriarch of the family. Always have, always will be. And so this was devastating. Nobody in the family was ever prepared for this. That everybody was so shook up and mad and angry and scared that it was just chaotic. And so I didn't want to leave. I really did not want to leave. And then my mom started becoming responsive. Well, when I got there, she was responsive. And then I came back, and nothing was the same. I just nothing meant the same anymore. You know, my life started to make a shift. And then coming back and forth to New York, I told the story of how me and my husband met on one of my trips back from New York. And so then I'm in Tulsa. He was moving down. And God always has a way of kind of telling me, time is up, honey. And I remember giving my resignation and didn't know what to expect. Just was like, this isn't it for me anymore. Like, I just didn't have that same love and that same passion anymore. I left, I came back home, and I'm like, okay, I got a man, going back to my family. Things is good, you know. I'll figure it out when I get there. I do makeup, whatever. And it was a different change. And then what do I do with myself? For 20 years, I talked on the mic. So I ended up trying to figure out, what career am I going to do? A woman in her 40s, you know? And so then I did makeup. I loved it. Just to kind of bring some extra money in and just have a purpose until I figured out what I wanted to do. And then luckily I answered this ad for travel agent, and it was a temp agency, and it ended up going to this company, getting interviewed, and I was like, this is a good vibe here. It's a good vibe. And I loved Linda that ended up hiring me, because a lot of people looked at me and said, well, you have all these years in broadcast and it doesn't translate into anything in the real world. And so I'm like, crap. Linda gave me the chance, and I was just so happy. And the company, Celtic Tours, still is. I was over there yesterday, okay? Because I just love that whole company. Like Noel, Kathy, Chelsea, Sue, Alyssa, Jean, Jessica. Like, it's just, they so welcoming. And so it really boosted up my self-esteem. And then no fault of anybody's but COVID and Trump, they had to let staff go. And when I tell you that my boss cried because she did not want to do that. And you know that's sincere. You know, you knew that was sincere by the way we all were. So it gave me, once that happened, that was another message for God to say, girlfriend, your time is up. Like, your time is up. I couldn't control it. You get what I couldn't control what was happening. So then it's like, now I'm sitting home. It's been almost 2 months now. Sitting home. all my friends, all my family have been saying, "What's up with radio? Why don't you get back into it?" And I'm like, "Nah, I just don't feel it like that." And then I started doing nails. Love it. That's like my self-care. Plus I'm getting good and I want to start doing nails.
Hey,
I want to start
money.
doing nails, little press-ons, whatever. And so I was sitting home and I'm like, you know what? Let me do a podcast. I have so much to say now. I think I'm in a different headspace. Whether it goes somewhere, if it doesn't, it's for me. You know what I mean? It's back to what I want to do. And so who knows where this ride goes, because this is like the midlife crisis. It's not like I'm raising kids anymore. Like, I'm now getting older. You know, going to get a job is now 20-somethings and 30-somethings is out there. So being in your 40s when the world tosses you up and shakes you like some dice and throws you down, you just have to roll with it. It's bumpy, but you got to roll with it. You never know what's going to come out of it. You came out with a cosmetic line. Me, I'm still trying to figure it out, but I'm enjoying the ride. This podcast has definitely been something that gets me excited to wake up in the morning. That and doing nails. I love makeup too, but like you said, we can't touch faces. So these are the things, and who knows what comes from that. And I guess the whole kit and caboodle that was trying to get out is just, this whole podcast is about elevation of self. You don't know where life is going to take you. You'd be surprised where you end up at the end. Did you think when you was in your 20s you was going to come out with a line?
No, I mean, I wanted to do something. I wanted to leave my mark. I'm just thankful, I was able to do something.
And you don't even know what's coming more. And that's what's so great about life. And with that being said, I would love to hear any of your stories of elevation of self, reigning supreme, as we like to call this podcast, in honor of our guest Rayne. What is it that you just evolved into after all said and done? I would love to hear your stories. You can send an email to sunnysideoflifepodcast@gmail.com. And I'd like to now roll into something that, call it the gift bag, as a gift from the show of some inspiration. And then we'll get into our self-care. Do you have a inspirational quote?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I actually do. And it's funny from who it's by, because this woman actually embodies queen and strength.
Oh, is it Oprah?
No.
Michelle Obama.
No, I'm in love with Angela Bassett.
Yes.
I mean, that lady right there.
That's I don't want to say auntie, because I mean, like, I find that a little disrespectful, but that's sister right there. That's sister.
I mean, that's why I said that's queen. I can't really give her anything else at this point. Like, I love her.
Yes, I agree.
I mean, she embodies strength, but the motivational statement that I have from her is, don't settle for average. Bring your best to the moment. Then whether it fails or succeeds, at least you know you have gave it all you had. We need to live the best that's in us. And that speaks so strong and true, because a lot of us stand within fear. We don't want to try to give our best to something because we're scared of it. But this says do it. Whether it fails or not, do it. I mean, I didn't know if the business was going to go, but it's going.
Yeah. Yes. I love that. This one is by Socrates, actually. Found this one. The secret of change is to focus all your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. Especially right now with the new administration coming in.
Yes. Yes.
They're gonna be fighting a lot of old shit that Trump done did.